Afternoon, everyone. It is 5:23 on this Wednesday afternoon, the 28th of June. And this is your closing comment. It is video number 1810. Um, we started off the day with Doofus Joe's talk about the possibility of not selling more chips um, to China. Be all that as it may, um, doesn't really mean a whole hell of a lot. Most of these chip companies have already performed dramatically. I can only assume that this was not a huge surprise over in China, and that people like Nvidia and AMD and even MU have seen orders pulled forward from the Chinese. So if they're not going to be a source of purchasing, maybe some of the huge backlogs that exist can start to get worked off a little. Um, Nvidia this morning was down 12. It finished down 7.5. AMD was down 3.5. Finished pretty much unchanged. Um, DoorDash, DASH. This one has moved from 46 to 77 and change. Closed today 76.49, up $1.73. They had an investor day, and they have a new app. And I'm just going to say that we've seen this before. They are now trying to be everything to everyone. They're talking about doing business with not only the food companies, restaurants, groceries, etc. Now they're talking about, Poshmark and all of the other assorted people. Frankly, the stock has had a good run, um, and they certainly have been better than most of the others. Certainly Uber, absolutely Lyft. But again, when you try and be absolutely everything to everyone, it generally does not work out in the end. We had a little bit of a bounce today from Walgreens. It was down 3 yesterday, 9.3%. Today it got back a big 44 cents of that $3. So pretty unimpressive. General Mills had a miss on revenue and a beat on earnings. And their guidance was just pretty much in line. This morning, the stock was down about $4, closed down about $4, down $4.40 today, 4.5%. We had the trade deficit numbers, we had retail inventories, we had wholesale inventories. They were so uneventful that they didn't even bother to release them at 8:30, the way that CNBC and Fox Business do, breaking in and give nobody even cared. What they did care about though was Chair Powell talking at the ECB forum and continuing to say, continuing to be hawkish. He does not expect 2% inflation sometime until 2025. And frankly, he's gotten a good jump on it, but he's kind of lost that hammer. You can't really take rates up much higher without really doing some serious damage. So we'll see. 2025, maybe. He's absolutely emphatic, though, that we will not see any rate cuts this year. Okay, Catalent, CTLT, and Regeneron both down again today. They had a product that is not going as well as expected. Further review necessary. Um, Catalent is down from 45 to 38 and three quarters, closed today 40.33, down another $1.39 or 3.33%. Regeneron is down over 100 from this week's high at 786, down to 684, closed today 700 spot oh 03, down 1606 or 2.25%. This morning there were a bunch of Dow stocks that were down. We had Home Depot uh, down 7.25 to 306. We had Travelers 168.37, down 4.25, and Intel, which had a bit of a run back up to 37 in the last 2 weeks, and then right back down to 32 today. The low was 33.25, pardon me, 33.04, closed 33.57, and that was down another 53 cents. And Joby, Joby, you remember, one of those great companies that uh, had pie in the sky, no pun intended. They're the ones with the flying taxis. Their stock has gone from 17 down to 315, closed 629 yesterday, seven $9.17 today. Last trade 896. That's up 257 or 40%, and that's on the news that their prototype is going to be cleared from the FAA for testing. Um, I don't know about you, but there are enough helicopters sightseeing and business wise over Manhattan. I don't know if I'd be that comfortable with a self driving air taxi. So, but that's just me. Okay, chart on the screen is the wheat. And after a great run, which we participated in from right here up to right there, made a little over 100% on the trade. Um, Popped up the end of last week and traded as high as 770 on Monday morning, only to collapse, close on the low and down on the day, follow through yesterday, follow through today. So it moved from 770 to today's close at 669 and three quarters. So it gave back almost exactly half. It is back in an area that I would think might be a buy again. This is where it broke up from. Um, but I'm going to wait a little while because the 5 day, you can see, did a really abrupt reversal here. We also barely closed above the falling 200-day, closed right on it on Friday, and then moved back lower. And everybody's favorite chart, the oil, like the magnet that it is, right back to 69 and change, off those lows, just like we said yesterday. Had a low this morning of 67.05, closed 69.58. So a nice reversal there. We'll have to see what happens in here. We are really breaking up, down, up, and down on this 5 and 20 day. This is another one. If we can buy it down here, I'd be happy to buy it there. There is no lower close than this one at 67.12, and I'd use that as a stop. Nat gas was down 12 cents, still looking pretty decent. The gold was down again $1.80, certainly not much there. Silver down 6 cents. Bitcoin down 595. The dollar up 0.42 at 102.55. The bonds up. We have an order in CANE, which is the ETF for sugar. And as long as we're here, I will show you the why of that. This has been a phenomenal market. There are two sugars. There's sugar number 11 and there's sugar number 16. We trade 11 because 16 is a domestic crop here in the U.S. There's a separate market for it, but as you can see, this one is 22.60. The 16 is 40 cents because there are major um, grower incentives and price supports for the intra US market. We came down awfully hard. I'm going to guess, well, I don't have to guess. Let's just put the fib retracement on it and see. And we have already made the 50% retracement. We're close to that, close to the 61.8. But let's also add the Bollinger Bands and see. I'm pretty certain we're through them to the downside. And we are. We were through them yesterday. So what we bought was CANE. It is the ETF for sugar, and I'm looking for a fairly substantial bounce. It is a very small dollar position, even though it's all the way out in August, the August 14s. As long as we're here, let's show you what that looks like. Dramatically oversold, even though it looks like it may be breaking again. But we're in to buy it at about this equivalent, which is where the last running correction was. As far as overbought, oversold, it is dramatically overbought. It's through the bottom Bollinger Bands, just like the commodity is. Not something that stays for a long time. I would think this is 14 right here. If we got to move to 13 and a half, I think that these things would be up 300-400%. So we're going to give that a shot with a good till canceled order at a dime. All right, everyone. I'll be back first thing in the morning. It's Thursday. Thursday is claims day. We also have the third look at Q1 GDP, and we have the deflator. Those are all early at 10 o'clock. We have pending home sales, which ought to be a pretty good number, and we have the net gas inventory. Have a good one, folks.